Hello, trading is closed on April 10th, 2019. We said unless we gapped under this low, today's target was 28.8263 and that printed. Look for the pattern with the early low, which we got. Tomorrow's pattern has the early high, tends to be a rally day. Usually closes near the high, but if it fails, it drops in a straight line. We said the commonest thing would be to gap and to trade outside the day's range. That didn't happen. Next most common would be to close a little change, and that didn't happen either. Either one of them has to happen. Neither one of them did. During the day, MEJT said all these squiggles were false moves and prices would retrace, which they did. Tomorrow's calls, a little bit hard. I think the picture is going to be a lot clearer after the early trade. So with that in mind, let's just say we have a number of sell signals here, but we've had sell signals in the past which haven't worked. And it's almost as if you're teetering on the edge of a cliff, and if someone gives you a push, can have a big drop, but you haven't dropped off the cliff yet. Let's talk about some signals we hadn't discussed earlier. No point in repeating ourselves, so people can go back and see the last video I made. This action on the 8th and the 9th in someone else's work is a reversal pattern and should mark a top. I can't give too much away of other people's stuff, but when you rally all day long, hit a new high, it's a positive pattern, typically leads to new highs. Gapping under this is the market's way of saying this is a false move. In fact, after rallying all day today, we still haven't been able to close above the initial gap up here. So a long rally hasn't been able to recover this. So far, all we have is a long rally right to earlier resistance. Now, resistance doesn't have to hold, but until we take out this high, this other person's methodology is calling for more of a drop than we've had. Now, there is resistance at the close. You can take the distance of this, the range of this day, 50% is right there. You can take the range of this drop, and 61.8% is right here. So there is resistance at the close. Someone else's methodology has significant resistance at today's high, also having nothing to do with these prior lows, which are also resistance. So let's just say we've had a reversal formation, rally to resistance, significant resistance, and as of yet haven't been able to break it. If you break over this, the pattern fails. And if you gap under that, if you take this out, this resistance will probably hold. Now, usually this pattern closes near the day's high. When it doesn't close near the day high nor open near the day's high on the subsequent day, it usually leads to a drop. We didn't drop, we rallied instead. And the only way to rescue the pattern would be for us to gap under this low, showing this whole move as a false move. And the ideal situation would be to gap under this low. This is the minimum. Now, futures are up as I'm recording this, and I don't know if that ideal situation is going to happen. But if it happens, it would mark this as a top, and I would expect pretty much a straight line drop. Now, this is what I'm using as my wave count, but even if it's correct, any place along here could be the end of this move. But I think I might have been too quick in abandoning this count here because of the nature of this rally. I really can't count it well, but I think counting it as an ending diagonal triangle makes more sense than anything else I've seen. This high, based on someone else's work, came at a very significant price point provided it holds. If we start dropping from here, it's a perfectly plausible scenario for us to have a pretty much straight line drop. That's why I say we're teetering on the edge of a cliff, but no one's pushed us over it yet. We're at resistance. We're at a logical place for this rally leg to end. But until we start taking out some previous lows, there's no guarantee this resistance is going to hold. And I think tomorrow's trade's going to make things a bit clearer. If we keep going up here and break through resistance and break through this, we'll probably go to new highs. But even though futures are up now, we can't rule out gapping down smartly. And if we do gap down smartly, which I'm not predicting, but if that happens, then this would make a very convincing case for the end of this leg. And that's today's call.